Cheese is a food made from milk. Cheese can be made from the milk of any mammals, including cow, sheep, goat, buffalo, horse, zebu, reindeer, and maybe Robert De Niro.
You can milk anything with nipples.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
Although cheese may be made from milk alone, often other ingredients are added in order to speed up the coagulation of the curds or to help in the aging of the cheese. Milk that has been pasteurized must have the destroyed bacteria and enzymes replaced in order for the curds to form properly. Rennet, an enzyme from the stomachs of young animals, is added to milk that is to be turned into cheese that will be aged. The harder the cheese, the more rennet must be added. Certain varieties of cheese will have mold added. The mold may cause a rind to form on the outside of the cheese, as in Camembert and Brie, or the mold might be injected into the cheese to form blue veins, as in Roquefort and Stilton. Although there are hundreds of varieties of cheese,
Stilton? No. Gruyere? Emmental?
No.
A little Norwegian Jarlsberger, perhaps?
No.
a very similar technique is used to make all cheeses. This technique has remained unchanged for hundreds of years. Technological advancements have allowed us to produce larger volumes of a more consistent product. The first step of cheese production is coagulation. The milk is soured, either naturally or with the help of rennet, enzymes, or bacteria. Souring causes the proteins and fats to form a more firm structure and separate out of the liquid. The coagulated proteins and fats are called curds. The liquid is called whey. The next step in cheese production is called straining. In this step, the curds are separated from the whey. Depending on the style of cheese that is being made, the curds must be cut or broken down into specific size. For softer cheeses, and cheeses that will not be aged, the curds are left in larger pieces in order to retain moisture. Here you can see the cheesemaker using a tool called a harp to cut the curds into large pieces. For firm cheeses and cheese that is to be aged, the curds are broken down into small, rice-sized pieces. You can see the cheesemaker breaking down the curds using a large whisk. The curds are then placed into molds and pressed gently. Softer cheeses are placed into perforated molds that allow the excess whey to drain off. Firm cheeses, such as the Parmesan Reggiano seen here, are placed in molds that have been lined with identification codes that can track cheese batches to ensure quality. Unripened cheeses, such as cottage cheese, ricotta, and quark, are ready to eat at this point. Cheese that is to be ripened is brined or salted in order to draw out moisture, develop a rind, and prevent unwanted bacterial growth. cheese is then allowed to ripen under strict temperature and humidity control. Soft cheeses are surface ripened and may be ready in a few days. The Klosterglock cheese seen here is ready to eat in 8 days. Semi-soft and hard cheeses require much longer ripening. The Emmental and Parmesan are ripened for 1 year. While ripening, the cheeses are rotated in order to allow air to get to all the surfaces. There are 26,000 wheels of Parmesan Reggiano in this factory. Robots are used to rotate the wheels and clean the shelves. Because Parmesan Reggiano is made from unpasteurized milk, it must be aged for an additional 6 months before it can be exported to Canada. Once the cheese has been ripened, it is inspected for quality before it can be approved. Here, the cheesemaker uses a hammer to test the sound of the cheese. He's checking for hollow spots. If the cheese does not meet the required standards, the consortium stamp is scored off the rind and the cheese is sold at a much reduced price. It cannot be called Parmesan Reggiano. Now you should have a better understanding of how cheese is made. Use this knowledge to treat cheese with the respect it deserves.